want to thank everybody for the support you guys gave.
Yo, 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 how's everybody doing in YouTube and Facebook world? This is A1. Today we have special guests from the Inglewood Unified School District. What's the name of the union? The Cal Pro Union is here. They're here to talk about the things that's going on in the Inglewood Unified School District. Of course, I don't have no room, but it's okay because we got these great people on the panel. They're going to say what's on their mind, what they got going on. You guys tune in. You definitely enjoy the show. We got all the way to my right, that's the union. You're the union leader or the union steward, president?
The union staff person.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself on the camera, bro.
Oh, okay. Christopher Graber.
We got all the way to my right, that's the union. You're the union leader or the union steward, president? All right, so go ahead, introduce yourself again.
Yeah, my name is Christopher Graber. I'm the field representative for the union.
Okay, and then a young lady next to you.
Sheila McKissick, the bus driver.
Okay.
Johnny Glasker, bus driver.
I'm Kendra Goodwin, and I'm the dispatcher for transportation.
All right, so I'm going to be reading some questions that you guys put in the chat and Facebook. Please make sure you guys share this. Share this with anybody you know in Inglewood. We just want to bring awareness to what's going on with the district in the city of Inglewood. So I'm going to move out the way, and then you guys can take over, and then once I get the questions, I'll send you guys the questions. In the city of Inglewood. So I'm going to move out the way, and then you guys can take over, and then once I get the questions, I'll send you guys the questions.
So we're here today just to discuss what's going on because some people may not know, some people may know that the transportation department was shut down unlawfully back in April of 2021, and we've been fighting since then. So we're here today just on this panel to just discuss what we're going through, what we're facing. We need a lot of support. We're trying to get our voices out there and be heard. And like he said, send your questions. We can answer. And we can speak from our point of view. And we thank you.
Also, we're here today to bring awareness of what's going on in the Inglewood Unified School District system. I want to bring light to the fact that they don't adhere to the commission rules, they don't adhere to the ed code, and they do not adhere to the union's contract. So one way of bringing accountability is to shed light on what's going on.
Hey, look, check this out. This is their first time doing this, so it's going to get better. It's going to get better. Remember that. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can actually call in. We have a call-in number. That's 424-234-8670. And they got a lot to say. They're going to get it out. If you guys seen the previous video I did when I was out there, like last week with them, they had a lot on their minds from buses being tampered with, not working, not being used. And y'all can take it from there.
So we were shut down due to claiming the buses were unsafe, which that's not true. We have all of our CHP reports. Our 292s are current and up to date. And we also have new buses in our fleet, 4 of them to be exact. So we have those buses to utilize. Our work was contracted out, which it goes against the union's contract. They can speak on that more. I believe Chris has records of the CHP reports that prove that our buses are safe and they were updated by CHP.
Yes, we got from the district, and it's also on the Department of Transportation's website. There was one and only one organization that inspects buses, which is the California Highway Patrol. They do it religiously. They follow a standard. I'll give you one example. One of the windows got broken out, I think by vandalism. The mechanic reported to CHP. They looked at it, they got the window reported, and then they got a new report, and that bus is operational. The other thing is there are buses that really haven't even hit the road yet. 3 new buses. This the employee who's doing this basically said, we're pulling all the buses. And people said, what about the brand new buses? Oh no, we're not using them. We have a picture of him laying underneath a bus saying they're all leaking. Someone backed up the bus and looked on the driveway. As I said before on this issue, there's no oil on the ground. So that's leaking. And leaking doesn't mean a broken bus. But CHP is the one and only people who could authorize them. They're ignoring them and just going beyond I mean, I deal with issues like this with unions, but I've never had an employer who actually lied on you. I heard a good statement the other day. You're entitled to your own opinion, but not your own facts. This is the fact. Every bus has been certified. They've even started lying to elected officials who are getting involved with this. The trustee, or whatever you might call the person in charge, was called by elected official's office, and she said, yeah, they're all broken. And if they were broken, even if you played out the district scenario, they're supposed to fix them. That's what you do. Window breaks in a classroom, you fix them. But they didn't do any of that. They ran these buses for 3 days back in April, even though they claimed they were all broken. These things just don't happen miraculously. And then lastly, they got a grant to get 3 new electric buses, which is the state of art. Everyone knows about Tesla. And they turned it down. $750,000. When you're a broke district, which Inglewood is, you don't turn around free money and make you look good, something that makes you look in the community. LA Unified got a bunch of buses, and their superintendent had a press conference and said within a couple of years, they will all be electric.
I feel like we need to find out what is the real deal that they want to chart out on transportation. Now, the parents need to also ask questions as well and see why is they charting out transportation, because when August come, when school begin and schools go fully, kids is going to be handicapped, left at home and left behind. They're not going to have no transportation. The district is telling them that, but the district is having a hard time figuring out how to transport our handicapped kids. We only transport needy kids.
You know, I want to go back a little bit when Dr. Brand was the state administrator. He made a lot of comments that got him in trouble. But one of the comments that I think is the template or blueprint for what's going on in Inglewood right now, he made a statement that the frontline employees and the administration should look like the majority of the demographic that's being served. And the perception of that demographic is the majority of them are Hispanic. So when you begin to peel back everything, you begin to see that it appears the district is making these moves that are outside the guidelines of policy and procedure to obtain that goal. So when you look at them dealing with transportation, we had a meeting, and the meeting was in violation. The reasons given were in violation of the Ed Code. And once the Ed Code was produced, they had to back off of their plan to get rid of the transportation department and then begin to charter out. But so now you get a person, Norberto Perez, who's not a mechanic. He's always stepping out or not staying within his administrative authority. He's always stepping out of his administrative authority and making decisions outside of policy and procedure. So now he thinks he has the power to shut down a whole department based upon his inspection of the bus, and he's not even a mechanic. So
He's not even CHP certified.
he doesn't even understand the whole. Well, Erica Torres's administration don't understand or don't even care about the ed code. They don't care about the commission rules, and they have shown that they don't care about the union's contract by contracting out different departments' work. They started with the gardeners. Then they, you go back to Dr. Brand, they started with the security officers back when Dr. Brand was in charge. But he botched that whole thing up. He had to bring them back. And so now every state administrator that comes in seems to follow that same template. So now you can't touch the security officers right now. They thought they were going to start with the easiest fruit, the low-hanging fruit, which was transportation. And now, by them not being able to deal with transportation, they're getting desperate. And then they're pushing, unwisely. They're being unwise in their movement within trying to, I think, reach their goal of changing the demographic. Oh, hey, caller, how you doing today?
Hi, is Glasser?
Yes. Who's this? Oh, man, you don't matter. What's
Okay,
your
this
question?
Smith. This Smith. Actually, no, I don't have a question. I just want to put out there that when I spoke to Mr. Perez back on May 17th, that was like my third time trying to reach out to him about needing my renewal. I on several occasions kept trying to reach out to him. He finally gave me a call, and when I spoke with him, I told him that, that my renewal, that I was going to be out of service, and that I was notified that the buses were in good working condition. And I also told him that he's not CHP. CHP determines whether a bus is put out of service or anything. And upon this conversation, I did mention to him, about him not liking you and Kendra, and that's the reason why we are going through this situation right now. Not once did he ever try to deny anything. He never once denied anything. He told me that, okay, I will get back with you by the end of the week. I will get in contact with Chris, the trainer, and see if we can get you another bus so you can take your test on. Haven't heard from him, haven't heard anything, and I just feel like I'm out of service right now. I feel like the way that we're being treated right now is unfair. He told me that where is it at in the union contract that they have that Inglewood has to pay for us to renew. Where is it at in the contract? If I can show him and prove to him that it's in the contract, and I explained to him that since I've been a part of Inglewood, that has been, the procedure that they have always paid for, provided us with the buses for our renewal.
Yeah, that's called past practice. The district has always been responsible for the training and the maintaining of licenses of its employees. And, at first someone was saying it's borderline harassment. But when you listen to this situation, it's not borderline. By them not following policy and procedure, when you look at what harassment is, that is harassment. Now, this person's livelihood is dependent upon being maintaining their license, and
I told him that.
Right, and then one of the tactics of companies even in the past, and the reason why you need a union is that they will harass the employees and make their create a hostile working environment, which would then cause them to want to leave. A young lady has already resigned and went to another district because she's tired of all the harassment that has been taking place. And this situation here is a clear example of harassment. The district, I've been at the district for 12 years, and they've always provided the training and the trainer for maintaining our licenses. We haven't had to go outside and come out of our own pocket. That's a part of being an employee of the district, is maintaining your license. And by them not, and we get it, they know in 6 months in advance that this license has to be renewed. And one of the tactics to make people or to force people out is to not provide them or to question something that has been going on for decades. So I'm here today to bring light to the actual harassment. And I'm glad that you called in to tell your story, because I don't want to tell someone's story who don't want to put it out there.
I am too.
So go ahead, Kendra.
Because Smith is not the only driver that is impacted by this situation. We have another driver who is also impacted by this, with her certification and her license not being able to take her test on buses that have been certified by the CHP.
Thank you.
Let me just add one more thing with that issue. I'm glad Ms. Smith got Perez to say that, because we had a grievance meeting with him, and I said, can I record it? Is it okay for me to record this? And then he just hung up. So he, I guess kind of schizophrenic. He'll tell some people that the buses are broken, and others he'll lie about it. But we asked that because that is what's called, Johnny was right, it's a past practice, which is enforceable under labor law, that the training and the trainer the district uses, he does it all over the place. This is all over California, that you could use the employer's buses. So it's more convenient, and this is what's been going on. He doesn't know that. He didn't even know what a trainer was when he first got involved with this district. These are lingo words he didn't. He was hired to run what's called CWA department, and next thing you know, he's in charge of everything. Campus supervisors, security, stuff that he doesn't know, and then stepping on a lot of toes with the principals. But someone wrote on your on the issues, how are the parents involved? We're very concerned because the parents are used to these three workers picking their students up every day. They're comfortable with seeing them, and these are special ed kids, so they need to be handled properly. And if they see a new driver every day, they may not go to school. The district loses money then, and that student doesn't get educated.
Let's go to the next caller. Next caller.
Hello?
Hello, next caller.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Okay, how you guys doing?
We're doing well.
I'm John Hughes. I work in special education, and as far as the transportation is concerned, we work hand in hand. And so this issue is very concerning as a result of the relationships that's established with students, and as well as the continuity of the service in Inglewood that you guys know so well. But my question, I guess, or statement would be, what we already know that they violate their own policies. They're violating ed code. They're violating the rules. What entity would you suggest, or action would you suggest that all of us should take regarding some outside forces coming in to assist in this battle here?
Us in transportation, we have went to Laco. We have went to Autumn Burke. We need to get our voices out there to maybe Tony Thurman. Gavin Newsom, whoever you
Yeah.
can write a letter to or email to, state senators, anyone, to let them know what is going
Right.
on.
Yeah, what I'm realizing
Yeah.
is, say that again, caller.
No, go ahead. I was
Oh,
saying that would be my suggestion to go outside of like LACO is who that's like going right back to the Fox, you know,
Yeah.
with your complaint. That's like asking them to, tell basically reprimand themselves.
Right.
right.
So, but I heard what you said.
Yeah, going like you said before, going to LACO, the leadership in LACO is like a hen going to the wolf to complain about the fox
Right.
coming into the coop
Right.
or whatever. And then if you do go to LACO, then they'll transfer you over to the snake.
Right.
So at this point, there are certain things that are going on, and this is one avenue right here, getting it out into the public, because a lot of things can be done in the dark. Now that people are beginning to hear what's going on and find out what's going on, there's going to be there's a lot of questions. I think they did go to Miss Autumn Burke, and she went to the wolf, and the wolf gave her an answer, and then that was the last thing that we heard of it. So there's other avenues that we have planned to go, and we're going to start right here and see how and see where we go here. This is like a first step.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think we should do some community organizing as well. Once you get the parents involved, that's your strongest advocate. Is the parents. And then I think also point out those points that you bring out about the violations of their own policy, the violation of the contract, violation of ed code and things of that nature, because they've continuously done this, but there's no consequences, and somehow we have to bring consequences for when they target people, like some of the people up there on the panel, and when they constantly violate, you know what I'm saying, the education law and the labor law, especially regarding treating you with respect and treating us with respect, because we all one family as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just saying that whatever I can do, I'm always there in support. And as far as getting this information out, I think that's critical. So whatever media contacts or whatever, we need to go write letters and get something going so that the attention is there. Then you'll see some different type of action on their part.
Right. Thank you, caller.
All right, right now, did you have something you follow up?
I just wanted to add
Right.
anything. Yeah, Autumn Burke, who's the assemblywoman, we met with her, and she knew the district's budget down to a penny. And Sacramento right now is funding Inglewood. They still owe California over $25 million when we were taken over, and they haven't spent a penny back on that. And one of the things that by using these outside bus companies, they're spending money, which they don't have to spend, and they're wasting it. And her office was very concerned to know that they're using outside bus companies, and they're actually getting on the bottom of the barrel. One of the buses we took a picture of broke down, so a student was left on it. These are more than likely special ed students who are in the hot, like today, and they need to be picked up. There's rules and regulations around that, and there's attorneys filing suits on them all over the place anyway, the way they handle these things. But our main concern is the parents are somewhat responding by the district's enrollment. We don't want the district to shrink, but parents see this. This stuff gets public. Other things the district is doing. And right now, the district is, like I said, Assemblywoman Burke knew this budget probably better than Inglewood Unified. And she said, how are they doing this? And we said, that's when you jump in. And her staff reported back the lie that we were told from the Erica, that's the statement I'm using. I'm calling it the big lie, because we know this is a lie. And they tried to cut me off, tried to exclude my statements, and we we have people write to the board when the board meeting's on, and they grudgingly have to repeat them. So that's the type of things we need, more elected officials to get involved. And these people need to go. When someone's caught on something, a lie like this, how do we know teachers' credentials are proper or anything else? The kids are being fed right. You just name it. If you're going to lie in something, this is a provable fact. I've been in labor disputes and we disagree on what we should get as a raise or whatever. This is proof. And there's only one body that could look at these. CHP is like we've never seen this before. We're trying to get there down here, nice guy in a uniform or a woman, and say, hey, these buses are certified. Get over it.
Okay, cool. Hey, we got a couple of questions from you, for you, Chris, in the chat. The first one is how many. Let me get this caller. Hold on. All right, hold on. I just want to get these questions for you real quick, Chris. It says how many years have you served at this job? Also, are you a resident at the same county where you work?
I've been the union rep since 1989. I live in LA County, and my job is I work directly for the union.
Okay.
And I think if you ask the drivers too, I saw that. I wasn't sure if they're asking the drivers, but we have people who've been here for a long time, have served the public properly, picking up the kids from football games, you name it, and people get comfortable with their bus drivers. And we don't know why we know why they're doing it, but that's what we're trying to stop.
Okay, the next question is what steps are being taken to protect the employees?
Well, we stopped them. We negotiated. They came in and said, oh, it's the cost. And they said the county is doing it. We said, county does not have a transportation department, so come up with something else. Then they said, we're going to another company and said, well, that's what you're supposed to tell us. You can't launder the money. And then now the cost is no longer the issue. Then they went to plan B. Oh, it was safety. The people weren't picking up the kids. We said, where are the reports? Obviously, if one of these drivers isn't picking up a kid, there's a report. There were no reports. Okay. Then they skipped off of that. The latest thing is we were told they took the tools out of the department. Why would you take the tools out of the transportation department? And so we were in negotiations with the district. We filed charges against the person who's needs the bus to get their training certificate, and that grievance is moving ahead.
Okay, the next question is, has the current panel here today or the union met with or requested a meeting with the district or the higher-ups in charge as well as with Mr. Perez? So you guys met with Mr. Perez.
We did have a meeting, but that meeting was to tell us that we're being laid off. But after that, we haven't had any meetings. They don't. To be honest, they keep counseling on some people, and they have totally blocked me from being able to send any emails to Ms. Torres, to Hedier, the head of HR, and the COO, Norberto Perez, and I guess the so-called expert of the commission rules, Miss Erica Jackson. So every time I try to send an email and contact them, it comes back undeliverable.
Okay. And then has there been any parent involvement in this movement?
Not that I'm aware of.
But we plan on bringing the parents very involved. I mean, one of those buses that was left stranded, some student was on that, and the mothers worried the kids, where is their son or daughter? That's just despicable what the district does. And normally, Kendrea, as a dispatcher, would then, buses break, and then another bus would be sent out, and they're within Inglewood city limits. These bus companies, we don't know where they're from, whether they got extra buses to come there, and it's just, like I said, they were getting the bottom of the barrel in the sense of the buses, and
right.
Yes.
So the irony is that the day that the contracted buses came out, like it was mentioned earlier, the buses broke down, and the students had to wait for over 30 minutes for a different bus to come. So we were shut down because we were declared by a person who don't know anything about mechanics, shut us down, but yet the company that he hired, buses broke down. Our buses have never broken down while on route. Okay, caller, if you called in earlier, please call back. Yeah, it didn't get through, so just call back and you'll be able to get through this time.
We here today and we asking everyone, please come out and help us right along with the parents. We have called numerous of parents, but we have not heard anything from the parents. Parents, you guys is gonna suffer behind this. Do not believe Alberto Perez or Erica Torres.
Let me add one thing that parents can get involved with. We're going to do it as a rule of thumb. Every school board meeting, we will be out there picketing. If you want to join us, 5 o'clock at 401 South Inglewood Avenue, we will be out there with picket signs and protests. The school police they roped off the parking lot, something they've never did to the teachers or any other organizations. I got a call every time I'm out there. IPD calls me and said, what are we doing? I said, we're doing our civil right. We're demonstrating. We're not doing a sit-in, and we may think of doing that, but as of now, we're just protesting. And I get a call, and I said, go call Erica Torres and tell her to get a life. You know, this is protest. This is what labor unions do. Look it up online. They think that we can't complain. Cutting off people's emails is just censoring the public. And if they got that thin a skin that they can't hear public complaints, she doesn't need to be a superintendent, because that's what happens. I've been attending meetings for 20 years, and the public makes complaints. And she tried to do a restraining order on someone who was against her.
Next caller.
What we're doing. I said, we're doing our civil rights. We're demonstrating. And we're not
Next caller.
doing a sit-in. We think of doing that, but
Caller, turn your rate. Can you turn your volume down? Because we're hearing background noise.
you get.
Hello?
Hello? Caller? Yes, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. My name is Charles Robinson. I'm calling. I'm a bus driver too, like Smith. I'm one of the drivers that lost their certificate at the moment. I had written 2 letters to Torres and Perez. Torres got back, but instead of having like contact with me, she sent it to the lady Heidi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. And she set up a meeting. And she set up a meeting with me and Chris. From that meeting, she said she had to get back with me. Took my phone number. She took Chris Johnson's name and everything, and said she had to contact Perez to see what she needs to do. I waited 3 weeks, and I got no answer from them, from her at least. I had to call. I left a message, and she called me back and said the same thing I knew she was going to tell me anyway, Perez, that the buses are not working, and we're not allowing the buses to go out and all that. But he has another alternative to do. So let me get back with him to see what he's doing. I still haven't heard back from her. But I heard from Chris that he put a grievance in. So I'm just waiting to see how that goes in, because if they're trying to lay us off, I'm out of a job. My income is gone, because I cannot go to another company and get hired as a bus driver, because we need that in California. And they don't understand that we need that certificate. That's very important to be a bus driver.
Well, no, they understand that you need your certificate to get another job.
They just don't care.
They don't care. They're trying to, they're harassing us. And I'm amazed that in 2021, they're using tactics back in the day before the union, where, you know, when union was first forming or needed to be formed, the tactics of harassment or not providing what they normally will provide to their workers to get the job done, because they want that worker or those employees, they want them out. So when you go back into history and you see these same little tactics. So at this point, they're aware of what they're doing. They are aware of what they're doing because once you bring it to their attention, they have enough experience to know how to fix your situation. It's not that difficult. If they're not doing it, it's because they don't want to. So now we're here to bring light on what it is that's going on, and we're going to force their hands because they have no legal standing. There's no policy or procedure for what it is that they're trying to do, and every time they make an attempt, every time they harass, I think we really need to begin to use the word harassment. They're harassing us at this time.
Yeah.
They're creating a hostile environment because they want to push us out. They can't push us out according to the ed code or policy or procedure. So now they're harassing us. So hoping that people will leave.
I get full-on harassment every day from Perez. Every day. He has locked me out of the transportation department, took my keys. I'm doing transportation work from out of the maintenance department, even though I still work from transportation. He put a padlock on the gate, unlawful lockout. Every day, harassment from Perez. And why am I locked out of transportation? I get emails from him 9:40 p.m. on a Saturday night. I work Monday through Friday. Every day. He is just a straight up harasser. He was hired for CWA, yet his hands is in every single department. You cannot even go to HR and complain because HR directs you back to Perez. So at this point, it's very hostile, and the harassment is overwhelming.
And she missed the biggest part now. Insurance companies know, and the police department knows that there is an organized crime ring going around stealing catalytic converters out of vehicles. But Mr. Perez, him harassing Ms. Goodwin here, he called the police on her and accused her of stealing all the catalytic converters. So just imagine the humiliation that she had to endure to be questioned by the police department. And even the police department knows that it's an organized ring, but they have to file out the report. They have to do their investigation. But insurance companies will tell you there's an organized ring going on stealing catalytic converters, but yet a part of the harassment is that Mr. Perez is accusing Ms. Goodwin to put pressure on her and, like you say, make her create a hostile environment for her to leave. But I wanted to be sure, Ms. Robinson, were you trying to say something? Sound like your phone was breaking up. Okay. Thank you. Next caller, please. Hello, go ahead, caller.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Good. Hey, so from what I'm understanding, you just said this quite a while ago, is you believe that your emails are not getting through to Mr. Perez, that you believe that they're being directed or completely shut down by whoever an administrator or the HR department.
Yes, they are.
Does that sound? They are.
Yes, that's happened. All of my emails are being returned. If I send one to Miss Erica Torres, Miss Erica Jackson, Hediye Kajabi, and Norberto Perez, they come back as undeliverable. Even before that, my district email that I had was shut down, and I no longer have access to the district email. So what I did, I started emailing them through my private email. So my last 4 emails have come back undeliverable.
Did you or anybody else have any plans on doing a standard FOIA request to see if some kind of weird, funny business is going on, where you are absolutely allowed? Did anybody think about doing a FOIA request? It's called a Freedom of Information Act. It was enacted by Mr. President Obama And that means that you have the right to send in a FOIA request at any time if you think anything is unjust.
Right. That has been
Just to find
tried.
out.
Mr. Gregory, didn't you do a free? Didn't you do
Well,
it for you?
we don't need to do that because we have the hard evidence. If they were hiding these CHP reports, we'd have an issue on it. But we have the CHP reports. They're public information. anyone in the world could get them. You go to the Department of Transportation. So we have the hard truth. They're just lying about the truth. They tell people.
And I do get that. Yeah.
So we have.
I'm just saying if there's further proof, it would be more than standard burden of proof. You would have undeniable proof.
And as a union,
and I think you need to be held up to a higher standard. Right.
Well, there's no higher. Inglewood is the lowest standard. This is the only. Well, let me correct myself. Oakland has now joined the company again. There's only two school districts in the state that are under state control or now county control. Oakland just joined the group again. But Inglewood is at the bottom, and they keep sinking more and more. We've been contacting FICMAT, which is the organization that writes these reports and tries to help district get out of state control, and they can't believe what's going on. But we've added them to our loop of people we're contacting. State Superintendent Tony Thurman, Assemblywoman Autumn Burke, you name it, they're all watching it. And Autumn Burke knew down to the penny how broke Inglewood is and how they're bailing out Inglewood, and they weren't pleased at all. So it is just going on and on and on. And also, but Johnny was saying how they were cutting him off. We were in a meeting when we were meeting with Erica Torres, and she said, "Why does this guy keep emailing?" I said, "It's called freedom of speech. Get used to it. I think that's one of the things in the Constitution." But she went, "Well, why is he writing?" I said,
"Keep emailing." I said,
"Yeah, he could email. He could talk. He could go to a school board meeting."
I think that's one of the things in the Constitution.
Right. Well, my emails are really full of the ed code or the commission rules or the contract, and there's a part of the plan is I call Mr. Perez the henchman. So if anything really goes down, she can say she wasn't aware of what's going on. So to avoid her being able to say that, anytime there's a grievance or anytime there's a policy or a procedure that's being violated, I let her as the leader to be aware. She says she can't do anything about it. No, and I had to email her one time the third step of my grievance that she's a part of the third step of the grievance, and she's never returned any of my emails. So I've gotten messages from HR, kindly messages to not email her anymore. But no, she's responsible. She's a leader. She won't be able to say that she was not aware of what's going on. So that's why I keep emailing her, so she'll be aware. Any leader should and need to be aware of what those under them or they're in charge of what they're doing. And if there's harassment going on, it's obvious she don't care because she don't want to respond to my emails. That's the issue. She don't want to respond to the issue because she is in agreement with what he's doing.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for your time, and I wish you guys lots of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We appreciate your call and your questions. Is there any other callers? No. Oh, okay, no.
I see one of the comments says, "Mr. Perez have a boss," and Johnny answered it. Erica Torres. She's the one in charge, and she has a boss, Dr. Duarte at the County Office of Education. They're aware of this, and this district like to sweep a lot of stuff under the rug. Oh, but they try to sweep stuff on the rugs. There was
Hello?
Caller?
Okay.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, hello?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hey, hi, my name is Latonia Lefier, and I work in the transportation department as well. I was calling in because I'm trying to figure out, not only myself, a lot of people what is really Erica Torres and Roberto Perez agenda? Because, hello?
Yes, we're here.
We
Go
here.
ahead. We can hear
Oh,
you.
okay. And so, okay, I'm sorry. And so they took our routes from us and gave it to LACO. And LACO charge way more. It's more expensive to go through LACO than to go through transportation and to contract the trips out. So they're supposed to be there to help the district get out of, state receivership, but yet and still they put the district deeper in debt by contracting out. Even though they are aware of it, they just don't care. So we're trying to figure out, are they there to help Inglewood Unified School District, or are they trying to help LACO get more revenue? Because that's who the money's going to.
Right. They're trying to transform Inglewood. Yeah, they're trying to transform. Like I said before, Dr. Brand got in trouble for saying a lot of, statements that could be perceived as prejudice. And one of those statements was, I want to remind everyone, is that the demographic of Inglewood should look like the frontline employees.
Why is he writing? I said, keep emailing. Yeah, he could email.
Excuse me, I didn't hear that. I heard something about email.
What's the delay, I think, from the person on the call, Ms. LaFleur?
Oh, okay, you guys make sure you turn your background noise down because we're getting a feedback. So you have to keep that in mind. A lot of people didn't hear what Dr. Brand was saying, but there's a reason why he's no longer here. He made some very controversial statements. And like I said before, one of them being that the frontline people or the frontline administration and worker should look like the demographic, the majority of the demographic that's being served. And the perception is that it's that Inglewood is a predominantly Hispanic community, which is not. So when you keep that in mind, when you watch what's going on, you can see that transformation happen right in front of your eyes.
Perez contracts out everything, not just transportation. He has contracted out the gardeners. Next caller, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hi. I just want to know specifically what the union has done to protect the workers. Not knowing the history or anything like that, and what specifically Chris Graver is doing to protect the workers. That's my question.
Okay. Well, we started off with, we negotiated. The district called the shot. They said they were going to lay off the workers back in April. We negotiated the district, and we got them to say, first of all, they said it was money, which was not true. The last caller was 100% correct. The county is more expensive than the district. The county contracts out to other companies, and if you're going to contract out, you have to do a public bid.
Caller, you have to turn your phone down just a little bit.
So they haven't done that. So then, like I said, they tried to do Plan B, and this is Plan C, which is we just won't use the drivers. We'll use outside companies. Well, the taxpayers are concerned because we've been told it's like $300 to $500 per day to use an outside company. And they don't need it. There's perfectly good buses there, perfectly good drivers, and they're saying all the buses are broken. And it's just an outright lie. And so now we're pushing other steps. As we've been saying, we've gone to elected officials because they're the ones in charge of the budget in Sacramento. And Inglewood is beholden to them because they went under state control. All this stuff is costing their district money. Being under state control, FICMAT, and all these groups are here are expense to the public. We hope the district goes out of state control, but the way they're going, it's sinking further and further into the hole. And then parents just say, we don't believe this district. Special ed is growing. and they just don't have it planned for them. And picking up students with outside bus companies is going to make them lose more students. Then students will get a lawyer, and then that student will be educated in, say, Culver City, and Inglewood has to foot that bill. They're causing their own defeat. And we think, indirectly, I'm of the opinion that the district doesn't want to come out of state control. Erica Torres makes over $250,000 a year. She was making about $125 at the county, according to the Transparency Project. Now, as long as there's state control, she's got a job. Once the school board is back in, she's out of here. Within, once there's an elected school board. And so we hope the community.
Right. I understand. Everyone is corrupt in the district. I understand that. I'm just saying, as the union stands now, would it be a conflict of interest for there only to be one union rep who represents everyone? That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's the way all unions are. There's.
I don't think so.
Well, there's one rep for the teachers, and they happen to all be. Well, they have nurses. They have other people too. We have 450 members. We deal with other bargaining units in LA Unified, the city, and each trade. But then there's 100, say, painters, and there's 50 bus drivers up there. We have the interest of all the workers in mind because this is costing the district money. We're telling, if you're a custodian right now or a food service worker, they may be coming after you next. We have defended everyone at the same time. We're able to chew gum and walk at the same time.
And I think what she's asking is, Chris Graber is the field representative for DC 36. But there are also, I think, about 7 to 9 shop stewards that the employees can go to if they have an issue to make their grievance known. Is that something? Did that answer your question, caller?
Yes, that was more along the lines of it, because if there's only one union rep, and if I have a problem with someone in the district, but you're representing both of us, you wouldn't have both of our interests in mind because you can't be neutral. So I just didn't understand how that would work. So Thank you.
Okay.
Well, let me jump in that. If there's a personnel problem between two employees, they're getting in a fight or they don't get along with it, then that's an HR decision. But if there is someone being violated on their contract, that's as Johnny said, the shop steward. We have shop stewards for departments and school sites. So if you're a custodian, we have someone over there. We have people on all the work sites also. But if two employees have a beef with each other, that I can't. Yeah, you're right about that. I can't be neutral. I mean, I'm supposed to be neutral, in the sense of that's where we just say HR needs to handle it, and this makes sure HR handles it in the proper manner. A lot of times they don't. They don't jump in the middle of it, and then we're caught into two employees not getting along with each other, and we want to make sure that due process is followed.
Okay, thank you. Inglewood just seems a bit doomed with the way that things are going now, because if the HR has to correct it and they're all being controlled by Perez, it doesn't seem like the workers will win out of this situation. So it just seems like they just need to wipe everything clean as far as admin and start over. But thank you so much for answering my question. Have a great day.
I agree with you. It starts from
Thank
the top.
you.
Thank you, caller. Go ahead, caller. Oh, okay. Caller, go ahead. Caller.
Yes. Hello, good evening. Hello, everyone. My prayers are with you. I'm really hoping that what's going to happen does not happen, but it is late in the evening. And my question is this: what's next?
Hi, Trina.
What's your question?
Hello. Hi, hello, Sheila. Hey, Johnny.
Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Okay, so it's late in the evening, and for me, it was late in the evening when anything was said, when it was found out that the district or Mr. Perez was doing what he was doing. So now that he has done what he has done, and according to the message that was sent out by Ms. Torres that went out through email as of June 21st, 2021, which, as we know, is this coming Monday. The IUSD Transportation Department has been dismantled. That date is not here yet. What is the next step? What do we do moving forward? Is there anything that we can do to stop this? Is there any fight left in our dog? Do we have a fight to fight?
Well,
What do we do?
That email that she sent out, she also said there was a study being sent out that was done. That study never appeared. Erica Torres put out something that was just factually a lie. We've asked for the study several times. I'll give the district one more time to do it. We're meeting with them fairly soon, or they could turn it over. And the guy who wrote the study is someone who gets paid to contract out school districts.
She said the study it was done by Pupil Transportation Services, Pupil Transportation Information. Yeah, I know. I tried to look up information for that company. I could not find it. I have been trying to contact the district to find out information. I have been turning wall against wall. I've been, I have been running into walls. It's like nobody could, to the point where sometimes I end up meeting a dial tone. It's like, can you hold on, clump?
We're familiar with
what I want to know.
We're actually familiar with PTI, Trina. So they're a consulting company that came out to inspect our mechanic shop, and that was it. So how PTI deemed the buses unsafe, it doesn't go hand in hand. So we are familiar with PTI. So it doesn't go hand in hand. It's a lie.
It's everything that's coming out of Inglewood.
I think that's why we need the
but
other caller did a FOIA request.
Pupil Transportation Services.
Yeah, there is no report.
Nope.
The report, we've asked 4 or 5 times through our lawyer, and the report has never shown up. This is another one of Erica's little stunts. And according to Hadisha, everyone was going to be laid off in April. It never hit a board agenda.
Now, excuse me for interrupting you, Chris. My question is, so what do we do now? So without retracting or redacting anything, that we know what's happened, we know what's going on. What do we do now? Because I know that the drivers do have support. They do have support of the classified workers, because it's like this: if they get you, then I'm next.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to stand together. So what is it? What can we do, or what are we gonna do, or what is next for us to do? What are we going to do? What is it that we are doing? Because we can't sit idly by and twiddle our thumbs and wait until the midnight hour and decide that, oh, now we're getting ready to get up and do something. What is it that we're doing?
Okay, so Chris, you said your lawyer was involved. So what exactly is the lawyer here for, and what exactly is he doing?
Well, the district has backed off trying to contract out. Erica and the district said they were going to contract out. That's not true. All you have to do is wait a time, and nothing's happened. No board agendas has been published, so they're keeping their employees reluctantly from their perspective, but good for us and for the workers. There's another school board meeting next Wednesday. That's where the public can come out at 5:00. Be out there. I don't know if we're allowed in at this point with social distancing rules, but we'll be out there one way or another. They need to see this every day. If you're not getting answers, you need to keep calling until they will finally see that they're wrong.
Well, the question is, there's a lot of. Hold on for a second. The talk is.
Excuse me, go ahead, Johnny. I got something to say after you.
No. Go ahead. I forgot there was a delay.
Okay, just really quick, because Chris did mention social distancing, and so I know you guys are aware that today is June 15th. As of today, we are open.
Right.
Everyone is outside. So if anyone under the sound of my voice, if you are supporting the drivers, let's be at, you said next Wednesday is the board meeting. Let's be there with our masks on, because outside is open. We don't have to social distance, and technically, you might not have to wear a mask. Me, I'm gonna have one on, and I'll probably have on a face shield too. But I will be there being supportive. And if you support our drivers, I suggest you be out there too. If you are a classified worker with the Inglewood Unified School District and you care anything about the classified department, I strongly suggest you be there too. We have to stand in solidarity. These are our brothers and our sisters. We've got to be down for them. We've got to show our support for them and let the district know you cannot just treat us any kind of way.
Thank you, Trina.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you.
Pass that word around.
So I will be there with bells on.
Thank you.
With my mask and my face shield to be supportive, and I hope that I see several of my classified workers in support of our drivers to support our children, because we don't need no strangers taking our children to school every day.
Right.
We know them. We know where they live.
And that's the thing that, like you said, when the district not understanding that we build relationships with the parents, with the students, we transport these children from kindergarten all the way up to when they graduate. Like I said, I've been working in Inglewood for 12 years. So I've watched students grow up on my bus, and you build relationships with these students. And that's something that the district doesn't care about. So we have established that the district just doesn't care. They're not concerned about the human aspect. They're not really concerned about the parents. When you treat your employees the way they're treating us is also letting the parents know that you don't care about them. So like I said, the harassment, people are starting to see the harassment. People are starting to see that they too can get caught in this harassment tidal wave that the district is showing us right now. They don't care about the harassment. They're being blatant. So, like you said, now that it's getting out into the public, let's see what happens at this point. And once again, thank you, caller. Okay.
Are you guys able to see the chat on your phones?
No, I'm trying
Can you
to.
go to the YouTube link?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the YouTube link up right now. It's We Are LA, right?
We are LA, all one word.
Okay, that's what it is.
If you have any other questions, they can call in right now.
If anyone out there is watching have any other questions, you can call in right now. The lines are open. Okay, here we go.
Also tell people if they haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel.
If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do now.
Like, we really appreciate what this gentleman is doing for us. What's your name, sir? I'm sorry.
Anthony, call me A1.
Okay, A1 has really took a concern. He heard about everything that was going on. He came out to one of the protests. He saw what was going on. He heard what was going on, and he opened up his doors to our cause. So if you can, to keep up with things that he's doing in the community, to like and subscribe to his channel, to support, because one day I have a feeling you might need to get you might need your voice to be heard in a situation that's going on in your life, and we want to make sure that A1 is available. And one way to keep that availability is to like and share and to subscribe to his channel. And thank you.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Caller, go ahead.
Yes, I want to talk about the drivers and, they're in the situation that they're in.
Okay, go ahead.
Just like the gentleman just spoke, I think his name was Johnny. He made a statement that he was working for 12 years as a bus driver, and through those years, they created relationships with not only the kids and their parents. These people are seasoned drivers. These people been with these kids for a very long time, and when you put them kids in that kind of situation to changing because they are special need kids, they want to figure out what's going on. See,
Right.
They know if so-and-so on the bus is one of the kids who suffers from this, that, and the other. They know what to do with that kid. If it's hard for one kid to get off the bus, they know how to talk to him to get him off the bus, to get him in class, or whether he has to be with his parents. But when you have these drivers who've been working for many, many years, a lot of these people are single parents. They are the providers of their home. And this has taken a hardship on these drivers. Okay? So for you to do it, whether it's during a pandemic or just doing it because the district's favorite word is that Perez has his word to say because he can. I didn't understand it when he said that for the simple fact that CHP has deemed those buses operable. I don't get it. If CHP put certificates on those buses and say they're operable, which that's the CHP ruling, why are they locked up?
Okay, and seeing that goes into when they have their agenda has been exposed through their actions. They tried to get rid of us by lying to us about the budget, but once that didn't go through, they're doing this. When something is illogical, it's hard to bring logic to it. The bottom line is they want to get rid of us for whatever they want to get rid of us, and they're willing to do anything, even if it's illegal, to get rid of us. So my mind is stuck right now. So I'm trying to. There's something I'm trying to say it. I'm gonna say it this way for right now. They're showing themselves to be diabolical. They're showing themselves to be illogical. So you can't bring logic into illogical. They just don't want us there. And the way, and the way they're dealing with it, there appears to be a personal reason behind their motive at this point. So, like you say, when 2 + 2 is 4, and it's adding up, the harassment is when you harassing someone that you don't know, you don't have a professional grievance against these individuals. There's no write-ups. There's been no discipline issues. But yet you want to get rid of the department, and the question is why? In the contract, it clearly says lack of work, lack of funds. So if you're contracting out the work, so there's no lack of work, and you have to pay those contractors, so you don't have lack of funds. So you have to ask yourself, and whatever is left there, and that's the reality of it. I believe it's a personal vendetta against our department because we stand up to them procedurally. We stand up to the district with policy and procedure. And, we've had over 6 different administrators, and each one have shown because the way they deal with us, I coined a phrase of intellectual racism. You know, they have all the degrees, we don't. So they look down on us. So when we are able to challenge them with policy and procedure, they don't like it, and they don't respect it. So at this point, they're trying to get rid of us, and it's funny at this point. It's funny at this point because they have no policy or procedure. So they're creating. Think about what they're doing. You get a guy who's not a mechanic, who walks out with the mechanic to a bus that has just been approved by the CHP. He gets on the ground and look on it and say, I see dust on the calipers, and say this bus is unsafe. And then he hires a company and the bus break down. So when you look at it that way, you can't look at it through the eyes of logic. You have to look at it through the eyes of prejudice. And that's what it boils down to. And like you said before, we have to remember, don't forget what Dr. Brand said and what they were trying to attempt to do. And then if you look at the employees that have left and being harassed and forced out and who they're being replaced with, if you see that, who they're being replaced with, then you'll understand the template that was set by Dr. Brand by saying that the frontline employees and the administration has to look like the majority of the demographic that's being served. And that is the only thing I can come up with at this, because it doesn't make any sense. The things that they're doing to shut down different departments and their blatant disregard with the union contract by contracting out work, when the union book clearly says you can't do that.
And also, my understanding that he has also accused you guys of the break-in, the stealing, or the Cadillac, whatever that stuff is under the bus. And he has hired his own, not the district, but his own security guards who are supposed to be there around that time when he's accusing you guys of breaking in and stealing. I don't understand how the union could allow him to defame you guys in that capacity. He has also defamed your dispatcher to a degree like no other. He has called that person incompetent and a thief. Right. And I don't understand how he can allow to do that.
Well, when you have someone like Mr. Perez, I don't think he has real good experience in leadership. He was brought over here. I think nepotism is involved, and I'm gathering evidence right now that's leading to. It's not a question of what you know, is who you know, because this guy came over here. He got a $68,000 raise, so he was coming over here making $100,000, and with a swoop of a pen, he's now making $168,000. Under a year. In less than a year. He don't know the union's contract. He doesn't know the ed code. And he doesn't know and understand the commission rules. So it's like, wow, this guy's in this position. And from what I'm understanding, my question is, I'm doing some research on Miss Erica Torres. I'm doing research to find out even if she's qualified to be a state administrator. My understanding in that is that you have to go to a certain class or school. Just like to become a principal, you have to have that qualification. So now I'm checking into the qualification to see if Ms. Torres even has the ability or the qualification to be a state administrator, or if she's in that position because of who she knows.
Okay,
even when I go to transportation, even after he closed transportation and I go to transportation now, he has me escorted like I'm a common criminal, and they stand over me like I'm taking a piss test, and they're my parole officer. So the harassment that I receive from him is just out of control.
It's comical, actually. It's comical. It's like these guys don't know history. The tactics and things that they're doing has been done. And that's why you have labor law. They're violating all labor laws. So it's just a matter of time. I have a saying, I used to tell the other administration, I'm gonna give you enough rope to hang yourself. So don't think you're getting away. I'm recording. I'm watching everything that's being done, and like you say, there's a saying: you give a fool a rope, he's gonna hang himself. And that's what they're about to do. They're gonna hang themselves. They got enough rope to hang themselves. It's just a question of when I pull the rope. It's just a matter of time. It's comical at this point.
So at this point, Mr. Glasgow, what are we supposed to do?
Well, one of the issue is Chris Graber is a representative of the union. He is not the union. The employees are the union. A previous caller was asking what it is that we can do. And one of the things that we can do is, as employees, we can all come together and have one voice through a strong union. So in the time past, and I understand it, everybody have their different, goals and purpose in life. Some people are willing to stand up and speak, others are not. And, but we have to stand as one. This situation that's happening now is starting to start to cause people to see that we have to stand as one, because as they do it to me, they're going to do it to you. It's just a matter of time. They started with the security officers years ago. That didn't work. Now they attempted to mess with the gardeners, and that didn't work. Now they're coming they've gotten so desperate that when it comes to the bus drivers, they're just doing all kind of illegal stuff. They're violating all type of rules, and there's a process to deal with it. I just want to get enough information and allow enough time. Sometimes it's not good to move so fast. You let a person do something over a period of time, and then you can establish that that's a pattern of theirs, and this wasn't a mistake. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I'm sorry, I can do. No. If a person do something for a period of months and years, it has been established that this is how they do things. And if you bring it to their attention and they think that you don't have the power, the know-how to deal with it, so you got to also, you have to let them establish a pattern, so they can't say, oh, I didn't understand and know. So, and they've done that at this point, but you can pull the rope sooner, but it's comical to me. I'm gonna let them continue on doing what it is that they're doing, so I can have, I can get more than just one person out of here. So the goal is to, number one, for us to become united as one, and through a strong union, have one voice. So that's one way that we can confront the district and remind them, because like right now we're in a merit system. I had to file a grievance, and I won that grievance to make the district acknowledge that the commission should be in a place, and they're supposed to allow the commissioners, or to that's a word that I'm looking for. They're supposed to hire commissioners to run the commissioner, to run the office of the commission. So that's my next step. I want everyone to be aware that we are in a merit system. A lot of people don't know that we are officially in a merit system, and we are under the commission rules. We are, and the contract and the commission rules work hand in hand. They're walking side by side with each other. Where the union contract might miss something, the commission rules addresses that issue, and vice versa. So another thing, as we as employees, we can become knowledgeable of what the commission rules and become more familiar with what the commission rule says and what the contract says. And then if everyone becomes knowledgeable, the administration will not be able to do some of the things that they're doing. and blatantly get away with it, because everybody will understand their rights and know what it is that, and know the rules and regulation of what should and should not be done. Did they answer your call, caller? They gone? Okay.
And everyone can go vote today. Make sure you vote for Lillian Grant.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like you said, we do have a vote from 5 to 6 for union officers.
We got 4 minutes. You guys can go vote today for your new officers.
Right, and I'm recommending Lillian Grant as chair, Frank Weaver as vice chair, Crystal Turner as recording secretary, and myself, I'm going for the sergeant of arms. So when you go today and vote, that's one thing. There's another thing that you can do. So this is the third thing that I've given out. 3 things that you can do to make this union stronger or to have a voice. And this third thing is, like I said, to go and vote in new officers who has the employees' best interest at heart. And like you said, it starts in about 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Now at 5 o'clock to 6 at Bungalow B7, and the address is
District office.
The district office, and the address is what?
401.
Okay, 401 Inglewood Avenue. 401
You can't complain if you don't
Inglewood
go out
Avenue.
and vote. So make sure you go and vote.
Thank you.
And please help us get rid of Dr. Torres and Mr. Perez.
That's our goal.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, everybody.
We appreciate it.
Everybody, bye.
See you guys.